this video, we'll demonstrate patterns. Patterns are pretty cool, and I put this light up because it's fast and easy. This Source 4 ellipsoidal LECO, several names for these things, and people will just say pattern light. But it's really a stage light, you know, and it's a fine thing to use. But there's a million ways to make patterns. You know, you basically put something between the light source and the subject and create a shadow, you know. And you know, one of the things I really like to do is shoot lights through a window. You take a big light outside and shoot it through a window, and you can make really pretty. I mean, if you happen to come into a location and the sun's coming through the window, it can be spectacular, or it can be way too bright or something. But the chances of finding it at exactly the right angle are, you know, pretty iffy. Plus, if you're going to be there for 3 hours, it's totally going to move, so it's not going to work for very long, you know. But you can recreate that. You know, you can put your own light out there, or even a reflector or something, and have this. Sometimes you can have a really pretty pattern coming through that looks like sunlight. You can sometimes take, like if there was a painting on the wall, you know, you might be able to take and make a little sconce, or like in a museum when they have the little spots, you know, you might take something like that, right? And just put a little highlight on the painting, you know, and that it can look really pretty, you know, it just kind of pops out. Just in and of itself as a decoration, as a set element, that can really enhance the picture. And if you're doing something and that's, you know, if you're doing something for a company and that's their logo, you know, that might be great. Or that's some important piece of scenery or something, you know. So, and that's not much of a pattern. It's really just kind of a little circle, but it is, you know, a pattern. You know, those things can be in sharp focus or kind of fuzzy, but putting shapes of lights rather than just blobs of lights, but distinct shapes of lights. And it can be as simple as a slash, and there's just so many different ways to do that. You can have what they call gobo. A gobo is a pattern, it's a shape, right? So one version, and again, this is more of a stage lighting thing, but one version of a gobo is that little metal thing that goes inside that stage light and has the shape of that window in it, you know. But more commonly in our kind of stuff, the gobo is on a flag, like this flag over there, you know, and you see cucoloris is the type of thing that's, when you get flag kits, there's often a cucoloris, and it's a piece of wood with a ziggy pattern in it, you know, and you can throw it in front of a light and it kind of looks like the light's going through branches or something, you know, and it just breaks it up, and it can be a nice look, you know. And people say branchioloris, right? It's when the gaffer goes and cuts somebody's trees off and hope nobody sees them, and they stick it on a C-stand, and because, you know, you'll stick a bright light on a wall and you'll be like, yeah, I like it. I like that wall bright, but it's too much. And so you'll get some branches or something and you'll throw it in front of there, and then it'll be kind of like some bright, some dark, and it can be really nice. And so that's a pattern, you know. There's lots of different ways to make patterns, and that's a nice thing to do, you know, to be able to kind of paint with the light. You know, I think once you get past the basic subject lighting, the key and the fill and the edges, you can really play in the background, and there's a lot of different things you can do in the background of a scene, and together with the art, you know, the props and the colors of the setting, the selection of the location, all those things together with the lighting, you know, you really are creating a palette that can, it's, you know, it's almost like you're making a painting. You know, you're creating this thing from scratch, or somewhat from scratch, that can really help tell a story. So there's a lot of options when it comes to lighting the background. Click on the next video to continue. New videos drop every couple of days. If you like what you see, like and follow us on our social media channels. And everything is downloadable for free on our website, rucciproductions.com.